My name is Trip Durham, and today we're going to be speaking with two athletic directors about marketplace. Everybody in the country has their own unique scenario when it comes to their college and their college town, and that is definitely the case when it comes to North Carolina Central and the College of Charleston. And today we have with us Matt Roberts from the College of Charleston and Ingrid Wicker McCree from North Carolina Central. So Matt, the question to you, when you think about all of the assets that the town has, how do you package that to make it a value proposition for your athletic department there in Charleston, South Carolina?
Sure. Well, living in a city as vibrant and as growing as Charleston, it's an asset. It's not an asset just for athletics, it's an asset for our institution. And it's a point that we embrace, it's a city we embrace, and we try to do everything we can to emulate the growth of the College of Charleston and the Fortune 500 companies like Boeing and BMW, Mercedes, Volvo that continue to make the Low Country its home. So we see it as a tremendous asset. There are new people, 40 plus people a day moving to the Charleston community. So it offers us an opportunity to embrace that growth and invite them on our campus and make College of Charleston athletics a part of their decision-making process when it comes to their extra time and their philanthropic support.
Ingrid, with Central being in Durham, North Carolina, there's also another school right down the road that people have heard about. Yes. So competition there, obviously, but also the way that Durham is starting to grow with a retail, lot of food, a lot of history. So where's the asset packaging there?
So of course, being from Durham and being able to see all of the growth and the diversity that's coming to the Durham-Raleigh Research Triangle Park area, it's definitely an add value to our program. We've been able to capitalize off of the new businesses that come to the area because of the Research Triangle Park. And again, with all the universities, so not just Duke, but UNC, State, St. Aug's, Shaw, that is a marketplace for collaboration and modeling. And so as we've grown as a Division I program, we've definitely taken advantage of all of the businesses, engaged with the chamber and things like that, as well as all the universities in the area to really market and promote and engage outsiders into our campus.
There are challenges, though, that come with that because there is so much that's going on and you want to achieve such a high level of success both on and off the field. So how do you reconcile that?
So it is a challenge. While it is an advantage that we are in a college-rich area, but we have a lot of our fans that have affinity for Carolina and Duke and State, and so it does become more challenging. But what we do, and I think is very unique, is because there's more bang for your buck. So when we're engaging businesses, it may be our $10,000 package gets you everything, whereas maybe over at Duke, you may not get as much for the investment that you're making into the program. And so we have to use that angle a little bit to make sure that they know here's a population of people, especially at a HBCU, they're consumers on our campus. And so we use that to our advantage in terms of to a business to say here's another unique market base and customer base for your company, your products and things like that.
Matt, same question to you. With the school being located right on the peninsula, right in downtown in the Low Country, challenges?
Yeah, challenges. And it's definitely unique to be at the hub of the #1 tourist destination in the United States, and to have a campus that's immersed in the middle of that culture is unique because there's a lot of distractions, there's a lot of opportunities, whether it be dining at one of the great restaurants or going to a show or just going to the beach. We certainly have our challenges, but we also have our opportunities. And the uniqueness of Charleston is a lot of people have made it its home. And a lot of our donors, a lot of our ticket holders, a lot of our stakeholders never attended the school, aren't alums. And they have just gravitated towards the college as their college of choice and adopted us and been able to make the sports programs that we offer kind of scratch their itch when it comes to college athletics.
As other administrators are watching this video series, give them a little bit of a lesson. What was your approach to getting to know Charleston when you were named the athletic director? And so whether you're in Nebraska or in Montana, there'll be a takeaway from whatever it is you answer.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you have to know, you learn from Kevin White, the athletic director at Duke, know your #1s, know the influencers in your community, whether that's your campus community or your civic community. And being able to engage those individuals who are the decision makers or the influencers and have them being involved in your program. And it's just like anything else you do in athletics or in business. it starts with telling a story. It starts with having a plan and telling an engaging story as to why they should choose the College of Charleston, your business, your philanthropic entity, as a reason why they should garner their support towards it.
Ingrid, by comparison, you've been at North Carolina Central a little bit longer than Matt has been at the College of Charleston, 24 years now. How is it that you keep your thumb on the pulse of the movers and shakers and the who's who of the community?
Well, and I do have an advantage because I am from Durham. However, one of the first things that I did with our senior staff is to say we have to be engaged. So whether it's not being members of boards and organizations in the community and a diversity of boards and organizations. One of the most beneficial relationships that I've developed throughout the time is with Durham Rotary. And so there you have movers and shakers. You know, the Rotary mission is, of course, of utmost importance, but it is a breeding ground for businesses and learning and developing partnerships and collaborations. And so I was very intentional with our staff to say, hey, get out in the community, get on some boards and organizations so that now we have access to people from all walks of life in the community through those organizations.
Do you actually put a timestamp on that? Folks spend an hour out, folks spend 2.5 days out of the office in the community?
I think it's very challenging to put a timestamp on it because everyone is so different. You know, some organizations you may have to spend a little bit more time with to be fully engaged, and some others no. So some of the organizations, the Triangle Business Community that we were a part of, that was an intentional organization to bring different businesses together in purpose or for you to do business with each other. And so some of the organizations you do have to spend more time with, but it's hard to put a timestamp on, you know, fostering those relationships.
So Matt, I asked her the question about staff, but how about yourself?
Yep.
You put a timestamp, do you tell yourself that I know that on Tuesdays, making that up,
Right.
you've got to be out there?
No, not necessarily a timestamp. I think it's more of just an awareness and having the attitude of I'll be anywhere, anytime to tell the story about what we're trying to build at the College of Charleston and hope that that resonates with the audience that given day or that given opportunity, and that encourages them to participate in what we're trying to accomplish. So it's not just me, it's a shared responsibility. It's our staff, it's our head coaches getting out in the community, immersing themselves in the community, and it's our student athletes. And we have an obligation on our campuses to be leaders in the community, give back in the community, whether that be with youth organizations, elementary schools, and try to bring students onto our campus that otherwise may not have had an exposure to a college campus.
How do you know if that investment in time in your marketplace is working?
Well, we can look at it in terms of attendance at our events and our games, and not just our games, but attendance at special events. The new faces that we may see. In particular, when you are working with churches and youth groups and organizations, you can measure that also in terms of your attendance, concessions, and things like that. But because I've been there so long, when I start seeing these young people applying to come to NCCU as students, not necessarily as student athletes, but because we have engaged so many organizations to bring them to the campus and expose them to NCCU, now we're beginning to see that. I'm beginning to see that because I've been there for so long. So that's one of the ways you can see the engagement and the impact.
So all that said, in the marketplace, as you get to know the marketplace year after year, there are going to be social challenges that come up in your town. How is it that you decide a position to take, whether or not to take a position? And it doesn't have to be as black or as white as a particular topic, but people probably look at the athletic department or its leadership to say, we want you to come be a voice. How do you judge that?
Well, I think it's very important that our student athletes, of course, right, and they have a voice. So you're kind of led by that in terms of finding out what do they believe in. You know, in Durham right now, there's a huge housing issue for Durham because of everyone moving in and all the building that's spreading from the inner city all the way out to the suburbs. And I think that that's an issue that somehow our university is a part of. And so not only looking at the student athlete issues and what's important to them, but what is the university? What does this stand for? Because I represent the university when I'm out in those circles in the community. And so I think it's very important just to listen to all the different sides of opinions about the social issues, and then you do what's best in terms of making sure that people know that they can engage, they can share, and we're going to have differences, but how can we get to some solutions? And so I think that's the best approach that we can take without picking sides, because we do represent a diversity of a population on our campus that's reflective of our community.
Yeah, similarly. I mean, we take the approach of leadership. Although I wasn't an athletics director at the College of Charleston when the tragedy of the shooting happened at a church, literally steps from TD Arena in our offices occurred. Coach Grant, men's basketball coach in our university, took the approach of leadership and doing our part civically to help the community heal and to be there for the community and to be there for our students and our student athletes. And in today's world with varying social issues and things that come up, it's not our job as administrators to guide our students and their beliefs one way or another. It's to support them and to give them a voice and to give them exposure to different thought and to make sure that they're growing not only academically and athletically but socially as well. So we want to take a leadership role, and much like NCCU and Charleston being in a diverse, growing community and right in the heart of it, we have an obligation to embrace that diversity and to expose our student athletes to diverse thought and diverse ways of expressing their beliefs.
My last question is not going to be a fair one because it could be a 45-minute conversation. But what I've come to see over the last couple of years is that there needs to be a larger conversation about how the college is investing in the community, because you want the community to feel like it can come onto campus. So when you have a low attendance for a particular sporting event, it might be because the community just doesn't know if they are welcome to come.
Sure.
How is it that you're collaborating with the folks across the street on campus to make sure that the holistic mission, that people know in the community that they can come step on our bricks?
Well, for us, one of the things that helped tremendously in the beginning of our transition to Division I was the Pro-Am Basketball League. And that brought people from every part of the community onto campus. And so that fear of, and most HBCUs are located in the poorer part of the cities, and so that helped open the doors. But also, too, just capitalizing on any of the academic programs and events that are outside of athletics and really trying to collaborate with those partners on campus to bring individuals on campus. We had our Durham Rotary meeting on our campus. And so that was very instrumental. Some of those individuals who were Durhamites for years and years had never been on our campus. And so those are the type of things and avenues that you do. And the youth groups, we rent out our facilities to lacrosse groups. So the more we can engage and really make it feel like we're a state school, we're the public institution in Durham, North Carolina, this belongs to you.
Yeah, and you want to do everything you can to, debunk the myth that the community's not welcome and that our campus's walls are closed. And you do that through exposure. You do that over time through building relationships and the grassroots approach. And coaches do a really good job of exposing their student athletes and trying to build that rapport organically through different community initiatives, whether it's Boys and Girls Clubs, YMCAs, YWCAs, elementary schools, and creating programs that invite them on campus. And I'm sure you had those challenges and opportunities when you were at Elon working in marketing. And then once we get them on campus, whether it be for an academic initiative or an athletic event, we got to make sure they have a great experience and make sure our staff understands that we'll do everything we can to expose folks to our opportunities, but when they're here, let's make sure they come back.
And that is the final word. Ingrid, Matt, thanks a bunch.
Thank you.